despite the recent indications that the Niger junta, under the leadership of Brigadier General Abdourahmane Chiani, was seeking to have Niger take back control of its oil from foreign control, and have its own SONADEP manage the various activities like oil exploration, production, marketing and sale of crude oil or petrol. The China National Petroleum Corporation, which is the biggest sole investor in Niger's oil sector, will still have that control over Niger's oil for the foreseeable future, if not for the next 12 months. This is according to a deal that the Chinese petroleum giant just signed with the junta, in which CNPC was granted authority to sell Niger's crude oil, courtesy of its heavy investment in the exploitation of the lucrative resource. The deal was signed on the Friday of April 12, 2024, by the transitional Prime Minister of Niger, Mr. Ali Mahamane Lamine Zeine, and the CEO of the Chinese giant, Mr. Zhou Zuokun, and in the deal, CNPC agreed to pay Niger an initial deposit of $400 million to start selling the oil. Then subsequently, it was agreed that the Chinese company will be paying Niger 7% of proceeds generated from oil exports, and that the agreements would only last for a period of 12 months, after which the deal will be re-looked, and fresh agreements drafted. The signing of the deal came just 5 months after the junta and CNPC commissioning a newly built oil block at Agadem, and after the completion of Africa's longest oil pipeline, that is the 2,000-kilometer pipeline that runs from Agadem to Seme Port, on the Atlantic coast of Benin. And without saying much, take a listen at what the Nigerian Prime Minister had to say on the deal. China is a great friend for Niger. We can never say it enough. As you will remember, we proceeded to the inauguration, on November 1st, the second oil block at Agadem, a ceremony which consecrated the government of crude oil for Niger. On March 1st, we actually noted that this operation had indeed been launched. It is important to say that in this extremely difficult context, where our country was the subject of punitive sanctions by institutions to which we belonged, in particular ECOWAS and the UEMOA, it was difficult to resist any deal. During this period, there were a lot of proposals for our country regarding the sale of this crude, but we resisted. The head of state and president of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Homeland has given very clear instructions. We had to be very attentive to the financial conditions, the political conditions, and all the conditions including the environmental requirements, and even the geostrategic position of Niger, that we had to respect. On their part, the Chinese equally expressed their satisfaction with the deal, with Ambassador Jiang Feng having this to say in a media briefing. This signing demonstrates the traditional friendship and fruitful cooperation between the two states. During negotiations, it was not easy. We must recognize that the Nigerian team firmly defends the interest of the Nigerian state and attaches great importance to sovereignty. We are very impressed, and as I have already told you, it is a Chinese state company, and it not only explored for oil, and built an Alzinta refinery, but also built a 2,000-kilometer pipeline. It also built wells and schools for the local residents of Niger. It is a company which has a sense of social society. By limiting the contract to a period of 12 months, perhaps the junta is reserving room for any change of the partnership agreements that it may wish to effect as soon as possible, or wants to make it easy for Niger to take back the control of its oil in the near future, a move that it's really working on, and yearning for. After those 12 months, Niger will look for other partners with whom it will export its oil, or directly export it itself, but if the Chinese will offer equally attractive conditions, when the time comes, they will renew the agreements under fresh terms. Anyway, are you in support of this deal? Leave your thoughts on the same in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe before leaving, because more updates on what's happening in the Sahel region are coming.